Richarmond Natha-Alade.
Richarmond O,
Oh,
Natha-Alade.
Natha-Alade.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
I was, it's so good. Thank you for the correction. All right. The present administration, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, has always shown disdain to anti-government protests. If we take a look at the Free El Zakzaki protests, the hashtag revolution now, amongst other protests that is against the government. Oftentimes, the government always find the ways around it. I remember yesterday the spokesperson of the president was calling it child's play, and said that a number of people that came out for the protest, do not have what it takes to, call for a revolution, which I felt was enough reasons for them to have been ignored and allowed to go about their, human right.
Well, you see, by my own assessment, the only reason or faults I find in that protest of yesterday, although it's peaceful, of Wednesday, sorry, although it's peaceful and it's a right, is the fact that the subject matter that covers ground is already in court. And you see, by the original convener, you understand? You see, there is something we call lis pendis in law, like I've always said. The subject matter, because the revolution now didn't just come yesterday. The revolution now is the reason Showore is in court. And looking at the Twitter or the Twitter handle or the tweets of Showore on August 5 and August 6, saying that it will be 1 year anniversary of revolution now, that everybody should come out and protest. I think it's totally wrong of him. Because if you are in court, somehow, some way, in a way, you should maintain that standard you should maintain that standard, the decorum, till whatever the reason you are in court is exhausted. Because if you are saying that you are calling for protest and you are still hashtagging this revolution now, and the kind of revolution which we know that you've called for is the violent one, then automatically it will backfire somehow, some way. So that is why this matter is a matter already before the court, and under the principle of justice, when the matter is in court, you maintain peace and stability. It's another thing.
It was a
you understand?
Protest, you agreed to that.
It's a peaceful protest, but it would have been a better thing if another person has called for it that same day. For you to be saying it's 1 year anniversary and you started that is you are mounting or you are embarking.
We should always remember that there
you
has
understand?
to be a voice, somebody that could call on people, and if nobody can, is willing to do it,
not somebody that is before the court, not somebody that is presently charged before the court. Anybody else could. And if at all is saying that he want to embark on another protest, you shouldn't use the word revolution as at this moment, which is the reason why you are in court, because the word revolution as used by you then, we all know the implication by your interpretation. Okay, so if you are saying that it's 1 year anniversary,
I want to agree with what you have said, but even if that is the situation, can't the government wait on the court to make its pronouncements on it? Why does it have to be their responsibility, considering that the case is between Showore and the federal government?
The federal government has that duty to protect and enforce the provision of law. And part of the protection of the institution of the judiciary is coming out to say that this matter is before the courts. If it's another person calling for revolution, or if he has been wiser to do it through another person, not through him, it will have been wiser that way. But for you to say it's your 1 year anniversary, automatically the federal government will not fold his hand. Now, after you are through in court and you have won, you can now come back to say, okay, the court have validated everything we are backing upon. You understand? That is another situation. But for the fact that you are answering to your charges in courts, and the following year you are saying it's an anniversary, and people should come out and start protesting. And when you started your own revolution, you are saying that there will no longer be DSS, there will no longer be federal government of Nigeria, there will no longer be this, there will no longer be that. It's on that basis you are still building on that. That will be the direct interpretation. It would have been wiser to say, okay, if you have any other person who is not directly involved in that case, to even use that person to project your agenda, then automatically you will no longer be seen in the scene. Then at least you will be seen as maintaining the status, or at least the ethics, when it comes to not subjugate.
Would you agree with the people that said that there's so much intolerance in place in this government as it concerns protest? Because if one that you also have agreed as a peaceful protest was clamped down, then it means this government is not giving people room to even want to express this human rights that they have rights to, because we all witnessed the protest, the 2012 protest, whereby Occupy Nigeria protest, and how everybody came out. Do you ever see that happening now, and this government will tolerate such?
Well, I don't want to prejudge whatever any government will do.
From what has happened, from what we even saw,
Showore's case is different. I told you earlier that it will have been another person now that come out to organize another protest now, and the same thing now happened, without using the word inciting, without inciting violence, without using any words that is going to cause for evil. You understand? The breakdown of law and order.
Those words were not used. That was what you said. It was used last year. This year, it was just.
But the same person who used it.
A call for better government, a call for peace, a call for the killings to stop.
The same person who used that word was the one who organized that protest. Although he wasn't part of it because it's part of his bail condition. That he must not be in any rally, he must not be in anything. So, and he must not leave the confines of Abuja. I think that is why he was not part of it. But he was the one, he used his Twitter handle to send messages to all his followers, that, and all of them putting on berets, they are green berets, they are orange berets. You will know that this thing is tainted, ab initio, and it's faulted ab initio. It's different when somebody, a group of people who are not interested in, who doesn't have any interest as such, quote and unquote, come out now independently to say.
What interest do you think they have?
Somebody who is a politician, and who is also
Don't forget that President Muhammadu Buhari had also led a protest, when he lost the election in 2009, and yes, there was a protest.
In fact, a lot of people have led protests in this country.
So
there are a lot of people.
Maybe we shouldn't just look at the fact that he was the presidential candidate alone.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. We look at your intent and purpose and what you intend. Somebody was also Nnamdi Kanu, who is at large now. There are what you see, when you want to protest, you want to say whatever you want to say. It's for you to guard what your utterances. You are not allowed to be too vulgar or to be inciting violence. The moment you start to incite violence, to start to say all manners of things against people in authority, as if you want to, as if some of all these things is like the word you use. A leader is very important. When you say anything, people will take a cue from it and they will go all out. It will even be hijacked by people that didn't even mean to work for the country. Look at the way Trump responded to the issue of the George Floyd in America. Do you know what that sparked all over the country? When you are a leader, you are not allowed to be reckless. When people are looking up to you, any little thing you say, it will be hijacked, and that is the fact. When the little word that Trump said that all life matters, instead of you to address and assuage this thing, then everybody was on rampage. And look at the distress and everything it caused in the United States. As a leader, somebody
it was tolerated.
Somebody.
It was tolerated.
Well, I don't understand. What was tolerated?
The kind of tolerance we do not have when you see people gather and they're carrying placards against the government or against the federal government. Do you know how much this has been said about Trump?
It was not tolerated.
To a very large extent, it was.
In fact, Trump said that if anybody will cause breakdown of law and order, we'll use the army and the police and the navy combined. He put it on his Twitter.
Were they used?
They were used, of course. They were used.
Thank
you understand? But the spirit of Americans are unbreakable.
Yes.
So all the same.
So much we can take. Thank you so much, Mr. Richarmond O. Natha-Alade.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. He's a legal practitioner. My name is Abimbolo Olu. Thank you for joining us this morning. And of course, keep it fresh 105.9 FM. Have a fab weekend.
Fresh 105.9 FM. Your feel good radio. You are to Fresh 105.9.